right hand of your screen there. It says, what, 12 degrees?
Yep.
Last night, a 2 was missing from that. It was just one, it was 1 degree this time last night.
I always like when it goes to 0 and you're like, there is nothing. There is no heat. There is nothing. It is frigid. We are at our warmest we have been all day right now, 12 degrees.
Right.
This morning we started at 5 below. Woo-hoo. That was a cold one, but not record-setting for the city of Cleveland. However, we did have a couple records that were set. Mansfield, 12 below. Youngstown, 10 below. So shattering old records that were set in 1936 and 2022, respectively. But you can see Akron, Canton, New Philadelphia, Cleveland missing their record lows by a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean that's where the temperature reading stopped. We picked out a few other select cities around Northeast Ohio. Sandusky on the lake, 4 below, 15 below in Worcester, 10 below for a whole lot of our inland areas. Ravenna hit 14 below this morning. So you know it was cold. And as far as that cold air goes, it's so funny how we forget that just last weekend, we were in the 40s. It feels right now like we have been in this eternal winter, doesn't it? You kind of forget that just a few days ago, temperatures were in the 40s and we were talking about how nice and warm it was. So you can see the temperature drop that took place. And that is a really big deal because not only does that impact us, but as you can imagine, the lake has had some pretty interesting impacts too. I talked the last couple of days, this cold air is going to cause rapid ice development on the lake. Yesterday, this was the ice chart for yesterday, all right? It showed this yesterday. It's like, oh, here we go. It's about to get on, right? Watch today's. So much more ice. We jumped from 38% ice coverage to 58% ice coverage in 1 day. Almost overnight, it was like this super rapid ice up. We are anticipating some more icing to take place tonight, but things are starting to change around on us just a little bit. So just to kind of take you back and forth there as far as that ice coverage goes. Of course, it is very important to remember the ice type, friends. I can't stress this enough. The ice is still not safe to go out on at this point. I know I've seen on some webcams some folks kind of playing around right on the shore. All right, you can stay right on the shore, but remember, the farther out you go, the deeper the lake gets, and that's where we get into problems. We're still dealing with thin lake ice for most of the lake. Even this light purple area, this is brand new baby ice. It can't hold anything. The west end of the lake is really where we're starting to see the thicker ice, and you can see that the color coordinates with medium lake ice. What does that even mean? Well, there's a little bit of an ice thickness kind of description that we can play out for you here. 4 inches of ice means ice fishing is a possibility, so that's probably where we start to get into the medium ice because it's typically anywhere from like 4 to 12 inches. 8 to 12 inches is where you can get to cars to drive out on it. Please know, no ice is safe ice. Inland ice is a totally different beast than Lake Erie, and here's why: the wind. This is this morning's visible satellite imagery. Do you see this? This is all lake ice. But if you look really closely, you can see that that lake ice is moving. And that is the south wind, the same wind that caused all those nasty wind chills. So a south wind is going to push ice away from the lake, and we've had lake shore. We've had periods before where folks have been on an ice floe and they end up a mile offshore. Don't be that person. Back here on land, though, it's still cold, and we have a couple more chilly mornings coming our way. You're definitely going to need to bundle up. Temperatures in the next 12 hours will be cruising on up into the teens. We have a lot of cloud cover that is filling in, and the winds are going to stay on the brisk side, so do know that these wind chill numbers will be slowly improving, but it will only be a slow improvement. Meanwhile, to the west, we have a frontal boundary that's going to sneak in here tomorrow. We are anticipating some scattered snow showers. This is also going to bring around a reinforcing shot of cold air that'll kind of put us in the basement once again on Friday morning, but then things are over. The worst is already past us. But here's your National Design Hour hour-by-hour forecast. We have a dry start. We will see a few flurries during the day tomorrow, but in the evening, this is when we're expecting the next front to come in. That means some scattered snow showers that could end up adding a coating to an inch across northern Ohio. I don't think it's anything that will cause some major slowdowns, but we've had less snow that caused worse problems, so just kind of plan on keeping that in the back of your mind as you head out tomorrow morning. Here's your Union Home Mortgage forecast. After the little step back on Friday, which compared to where we have been is nothing, we'll be in the 30s as we head through next week with just a few scattered snow showers here and there. Russ?
All right, that sun there, that looks at least encouraging anyway. We're going to see a little sun.
We're going to get to see a little bit more.
Okay. Thank you, Betsy.